Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Work in Progress Wednesday, we're going to be making a couple of MLW greats. We've got Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today I'm making Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone, and both of these guys were very prominent members of MLW, and a bunch of people were trying to all leave MLW. Alex Hammerstone is currently in TNA, and as of recording this moment, Jacob Fatu is rumored to have signed with WWE. Has not made his debut, but Tama Tonga has, so I imagine Jacob Fatu is on the horizon. I'm excited. I've wanted to make these guys for a while. The Jacob Fatu, I went back and forth on a lot of different formulas. I think I did an action figure showcase talking about a bunch of stuff that I had on the way, and he was on here with a completely different body, and the more I went back and forth, sometimes I try to mess with pieces too much, and I just decided to keep it simple. So I took one of the head shrinker bodies, and I felt like it was a little skinny, but then when I look at this body compared to like Solo and the Usos, it works for me. It's a hair tall, so I just kind of tried to get the head to sit a little bit lower, just so that it wasn't something that bothered me. Another thing is that the figures that we did get of both of these guys from Boss Fight Studios, those are too short. They're just like, not even that they're too short, they're just like small in stature, so I ended up not picking those up, even though I do think that the Fatu looks really, really nice. I think his figure looks really good. The Alex Hammerstone, I think, looks decent. But I wanted to make customs of them. So here I have them, like I said, head shrinker body for Jacob Fatu, and then just the head. Both of these are from Headeration. Just all I had to do was modify the head to sit a little bit lower. For Alex Hammerstone, I took a Cena torso. The arms, I think, are from a Mean Mark Callous figure, and then they originally were on my Rick Steiner custom, so those tattoos on him are Rick Steiner tattoos. And then for the legs, so to keep him in scale, the John Morrison legs, the upper legs are a little bit long, so I used some Heath Slater lower legs, and then those boots I believe are from one of the Legends Billy Gunn figures. I'm going to be doing the same attire as his Boss Fight Studios figure, so I've got the white, red, white, and blue, like his pants are going to be all white, and then he's going to have these decals on his legs. And then for the Jacob Fatu, I printed off these decals from 3XR Studios library. They're technically head shrinker decals, but I have seen him wear. He basically wears the same design. And then I've got the tattoo decals from Curb Stomp. So really excited to get these done. I've wanted to do them for a while, like I said, so let's get to it. All right, so we've got Alex Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu here. I did already spray the Hammerstone figure with a white primer, and all the joints were sanded down, so for him really it's just applying decals, and I'll paint the head and everything. These are printed from 3XR Studios library, so I didn't like kind of measure how I wanted it and cut it beforehand. The Jacob Fatu, these decals are big, and sometimes when I print the black ones, they chip or like bend. When they bend, the paint comes off real easily, so got to be careful with those. But for the most part, those went on pretty solid. The hair for Hammerstone, I'm going to use the Toasted Marshmallow color that I have first, and then I'm going to go in with a darker, like a tan brownish kind of wash over it. And I kind of based that off the the actual MLW figure we got of him, where it's like kind of a darker brown, or like a light brown, darker blonde, whatever, and had a little bit of a wash in it, so I wanted to do the same thing for mine. His attire is a little bit of a mix. There's one attire that he has the American flag, and then there's one that's just like a white with a tan kind of detail on it, where his pants just look ripped. And this is kind of a mix of both of those. a little more with, like, the boots are just a little bit different. I think his MLW figure has longer pants on him, so mine's just a little bit different there. The Jacob Fatu, the hair, I mix brown with a little bit of black just so it's not like that glossy looking kind of black. And then there's really not like a lot of details to paint around in the head, so it's just making sure I cover all the hair. And then the beard, I will go a little light, like kind of dry brush it, just so like I don't like to have just the flat black. I don't think that looks great when you're doing facial hair. Here are my finished Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone, and these turned out perfect. I am very, very happy with them. The Jacob Fatu is maybe a hair taller than I'd like, but I'm glad that I went with this body. I think it's going to look really, really nice. I'm going to end up putting him next to my Bloodline figures, whether or not he does debut anytime soon. I don't really have an MLW section of my shelf, so really, really happy with how both of these turned out. The Hammerstone, I'm always a little skeptical when I have to use a lot of white, just how it's going to stick. And like, I don't know how, if it's, I have an idea typically if paint rub is going to be an issue, but it hasn't really on any parts of this figure. I think I did a decent job sanding it down, all of that. The head sculpt, I don't have like a normal color or anything that I use for hair, so sometimes I get started and don't love it, but I used the lighter color, went in with the dark wash, and I think that looks really nice on the Hammerstone. The Jacob Fatu, I think the tape on the ankles makes it, like, gives it a little more size, makes his legs look not so skinny, so I think that was a good addition. But I don't know, I could talk about how much I love these for quite a while, and I'm not going to bore you with that and just talk about myself. So if you guys have any comments, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on these two. If you have some ideas for other people you'd like to see on Work in Progress Wednesday, I'm always open to ideas. I keep a pretty long list of customs I want to make and get to, factions to finish and whatnot. So I don't know, or even just different attires of different guys. So if you made it all the way to the end of the video, you're still listening, I appreciate it very much. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate that as well. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.